Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, Devil Alex. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? Docs, I already have stuff for today, but I'll give it a look. Probably not going to use any of it, but I already have stuff put together. Hi, Beans. Robert Reich is running for president? That's crazy. What is this? Read the top. Oh, very funny. Very funny. Thief still. I saw that. I saw that. New AI video of Bibi Netanyahu. That will get me copyright strikes. Do not do that again. Okay. We have plenty to talk about today. Mostly stuff that we have to watch. And then I'm also going to bring in Avi at some point as an interview, so we can talk about what his takes are regarding NATO. Because I think Trump is going to pull us out of NATO tonight. I think that's the announcement tonight. Is that he's going to pull us out of NATO. Are you streaming it now for Trump's speech? I am. I'm hoping it's not that fucking long, though, because I have plans with a beautiful woman at like 10 or 10:15-ish. So I'm going to hope to God that it's not that long. Granted, the fucking guy, he doesn't know how to speak. You know he won't be on until 10. I know. He's probably not going to even... That's the thing. He says he's going to start at 9. He's probably not going to start until like 9:45, and then he's going to go on like a 2-hour fucking tangent. Hi, Bean. Oh. Hi, buddy. You okay? Look at this guy. Takes a pet. Takes a pet like nothing else. I mean, he really takes a pet. He'll take it. He's like, yeah, I'll take a pet. I'll take a little pet. He's burning up a storm, man. He doesn't even want to go. He doesn't even want to go. He doesn't want to leave. Interview him. Beans, why did you start the Holocaust? Why did you do the Holocaust, Beans? Can you answer that? Go ahead. Go ahead. There you go. Chris, do you still film today? No, we didn't film it today. We're actually rescheduled that because of how crazy today's news is. Now I got cat hair floating around all over the place. Luigi, what's wrong? What's wrong? Luigi! Fucking guy. fucking guy. Feeling better? Oh, yeah. No, I'm feeling better. Yeah, quick little bella ciao to start it. How about that, huh? Get her on the cube. Una mattina mi sono alzato, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via. Oh bello ciao, bello ciao, bello ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via. Che mi sento di morir. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell fucking yeah. Is the super chats working? Are the super chats working? I feel like they're not working. I feel like it has never worked a day in its life, you know? I just feel like it doesn't work, you know? Who knows? Gonna cover birthright citizenship? Yes. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. We are gonna be talking about that. Supreme Court hasn't ruled on it yet. Thank you for the $2. You suck at laser tag. I'm actually incredible. I outperformed you. I outperformed you both hours. Both hours yesterday. $2. Trump stormed out of the hearing today, apparently. I did hear about that. Leaving NATO? Yeah, Trump is probably going to pull us out of NATO tonight during his address to the nation at 9. Probably. That's what it's starting to seem more and more like. God, my fucking hair looks crazy right now. Whatever. Will you be live for Trump's address? Yes, probably. Most likely, yes. Most likely. This fucking hair, dude. Go down, bro. See, this is what I get for putting gel in my hair. This is what I fucking get. Looks good. Stop messing with it. It's fucking sticking up on the sides like a goddamn turkey. Sticking up on the sides like a goddamn turkey. At least it's not fucking blonde. You're damn right. You're damn right. You're damn right. You're damn right. All right. Y'all ready to kirk in? Oh, let me text Avi. Luigi! Yeah, we starting the video early today. Yeah, I mean, kind of just want to dive in so I can go to the gym. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Hold on, let me get Luigi because she's fucking losing her shit. Oh. Luigi! Enough! Oh, the Robert Reich thing is an April Fool's joke? Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I'm not using anything for the DocuTussy. I don't trust any of those fucking links now. All right. Okay. Let's lock in, folks. We good to go? Good to go? Kirked in? All right. I voted for Donald Trump all 3 elections. April Fools, I'm fucking with you. Trump is pulling us out of NATO. He's 100% pulling us out of NATO. I think he's going to do it tonight during his 9 p.m. address to the nation, where all broadcast networks will be interrupting their shows in order to cut to his speech. On top of that, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, he gave a speech today where he essentially said that Britain is going to rejoin the EU and they're going to strengthen their relationship with the EU. This is another sign that America is going to withdraw from NATO. And then Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, he gave a speech today where he essentially said a similar thing, that they're going to be strengthening their ties with the EU. But on top of that, Australia is going to start to, they're asking people to limit the amount of gasoline that they use. And it looks like we're heading into another oil crisis. So it's absolutely fucking brutal. I think that we're going to start rationing oil like we did in the 70s, where it's like, you know, depending on your license plate number, you could pick up gas, you can fill up your tank of gas on like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And depending on your other license plates, you get it on like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday type shit. I think that's what we're heading into. But before we dive in, I want to remind you who you are and who I am. Hi, you are Charlie Kirk, and I am Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk! I'm just kidding. I'm Chris Valenti, and this is the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a government, a sponsor, a billionaire, a PAC, any of that shit. So you can trust that everything I tell you is 100% true. Because of all of that, I don't make much money on this channel. So if you do want to help support the channel financially, please do. You could buy merch like the posters behind me. We also have hoodies. We have crop tops with Kami Mommy merch on it for the girlies and the gays. We've got mugs. We've got stickers. We got all that jazz located down below. You can also click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content and some pretty cool emotes. And then last but not least, you can become a patron on Patreon by donating $1, $5, $10, whatever you want. Massive shouts out to anybody who has ever donated a single dollar to the channel. You guys keep this operation going. This is entirely grassroots funded, and I am simply a megaphone for you, the people. And without further ado, we're going to start off with Trump's Truth Social posts from today. So we're going to start with this one because our president at least has his mind on the right things while, you know, we're waging a war of aggression, a war of choice in Iran at the behest of Israel, and everybody is, nobody can afford fucking anything because the price of all goods are going up. Well, at least the president is focused on the right things like this. Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum and I are working on fixing the absolutely filthy reflecting pool between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. This work was supposed to be done by the Biden administration, but Sleepy Joe doesn't know what clean or proper maintenance is. The president and the secretary do. So yeah, the president is focused on his ballroom and on cleaning up the pool while we have American boys and girls fighting and dying in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. All right, now he posts this, a little temper tantrum about the ballroom. He goes, the National Trust for Historic Preservation sues me for a ballroom that is under budget, ahead of schedule, being built at no cost to the taxpayer, and will be the finest building of its kind anywhere in the world. I then get sued by them over the renovation of the dilapidated and structurally unsound former Kennedy Center, now the Trump Kennedy Center, a show of bipartisan unity, a Republican and Democrat president, where all I am doing is fixing, cleaning, running and sprucing up a terribly maintained for many years building, but a building of potentially great importance. Yet, the National Trust for Historic Preservation, a radical left group of lunatics whose funding was stopped by Congress in 2005, is not suing the Federal Reserve for a building which has been decimated and destroyed inside and out by an incompetent and possibly corrupt Fed chairman. The once magnificent building is billions over budget, may never be
be completed and may never open. All of the beautiful walls inside have been ripped down, never to be built again, but the National Trust for Historic Preservation never did anything about it. Or have they sued on Governor Gavin Newsom's, quote, railroad to nowhere in California that is billions over budget and probably will never be open or be used. So the White House Ballroom, the Trump Kennedy Center, which are all under budget, ahead of schedule, and will be among the most magnificent buildings of their kind anywhere in the world, gets sued by a group that was cut off by government years ago. But all of the many disasters in our country are left alone to die. Doesn't make much sense, does it? President Donald J. Trump. Wow. Wow, that was a lot. This fucking guy's a psychopath, and he only cares, like, this is what I mean about him having, like, construction autism. Sorry about the lost frames there. Like, he has, like, building autism. He's Don the Builder. He's like Bob the Builder, except a pedophile, you know? It's absolutely fucking remarkable that this is actually the president of the United States. But don't worry, we've got more for you. All right. This is some stupid bullshit about the fire in California. Now, here's the thing. So right now, Trump actually, he actually attended a Supreme Court, like the Supreme Court, while they're hearing arguments on why birthright citizenship should be repealed, which is absolutely un-American as fuck. Birthright citizenship means that if you are born on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. Does not matter, and nothing else matters. If you're born on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. That has been the law of the land for a fucking dog's age. But Trump, he wants to get rid of that entirely, and this is because he's a xenophobic, racist fascist, right? And he wants, you can't just be born on American soil. Your parents and your grandparents must have also been born on American soil. Now, he is doing this because he wants to get rid of, like, a huge chunk of voters. He doesn't want them to be allowed to vote. He doesn't want them to be in this nation. Remember, Stephen Miller said that if he had his way, they would deport 200 million people from this nation. That has nothing to do with undocumented immigrants. That has to do with, you know, people that they consider to be dissidents of the regime, people whose parents were not born in the United States of America. That's what he wants to get rid of. So it's absolutely fucking bonkers, and let's read what he's posted. A birthright citizenship has to do with babies of slaves, not Chinese billionaires who have 56 kids, all of whom become American citizens. One of the many great scams of our time, President Donald J. Trump. And then again, in the ballroom case, the judge said we have to get congressional approval. He is wrong! Congressional approval has never been given on anything in these circumstances, big or small, having to do with construction at the White House. In this case, even less so, because the ballroom is being built with private donations, no federal taxpayer money. President Donald J. Trump. By the way, that's a lie. Your taxes are building the ballroom and the military complex beneath it, the Fuhrer bunker. Your taxes are doing that. He is lying to your face. All right, more. Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. Not true. Complete and total lie. Bull-faced lie. The Iranians have not asked for a ceasefire. You know who has? Trump, and they turned it down. We will consider when the Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages. President DJT. Oh, you dumb fucking retard. It's back to the Stone Age, not back to the Stone Ages. Jesus Christ. All right, we got more here. We are the only country in the world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship, President Donald J. Trump. Again, patently incorrect. Patently fucking false. And then his most recent one from 11 minutes ago. Republicans fully support our great men and women of law enforcement. Maybe the word should be love. America thanks each and every one of our police, Border Patrol, ICE, and others for their work to protect our cities, towns, streets, and indeed our country itself. Unlike Republicans, Democrats want to defund the police, Border Patrol, and all immigration enforcement. They want to allow criminals, the mentally insane, and lunatics from all over the world to come into our country totally unvetted and unchecked, putting Americans in serious danger. That's why we are going forward to fund our incredible ICE agents and Border Patrol through a process that doesn't need radical left Democrat votes and bypass the Senate filibuster, which should be repealed immediately. Working in close conjunction with House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Leader John Thune, we are going to work as fast and as focused as possible to replenish funding our border and ICE agents, and the radical left Democrats won't be able to stop us. We will not allow them to hurt the families of these great patriots by defunding them. I am asking that the bill be on my desk no later than June 1st. Our law enforcement officers and the American people should not have to wait until the Democrats see reason or learn the hard way through the polls. Hopefully, everyone will be voting Republican for the midterms. Through simple unification, Republicans can do this without the Democrats. In the meantime, we will continue to use funding from the great big beautiful bill, which is giving record tax rebates to citizens all over the country to ensure that ICE and Border Patrol agents are paid on time and in full, as we have been doing for them throughout the Democrat shutdown. Immigration enforcement will continue, and our border will remain secure with no murderers, drug dealers, or criminals of any kind entering our country. The American people should use this opportunity to reflect on the tens of millions of illegal aliens, including many violent criminals such as murderers, rapists, human traffickers, child molesters, and more, that Joe Biden and his far-left liberal Democrat cronies in Congress, led by Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, invited and allowed into our country for the 4 years before I took office. These radical, weak, and incompetent Democrats have made clear that if they resume power, they will never again provide funding to secure our border or enforce immigration laws. The Democrats are the party of open borders for criminals, crime, zero immigration enforcement, defunding the police, and allowing the worst of the worst to have, quote, get out of jail free cards. They want America to be open and available to violent criminals, thugs, and lowlives, not our great and loving American patriots. Don't forget that in November, win the midterms. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. What? Like, fucking, dude? Like, can you just shut the fuck up forever? Luigi, what is your fucking problem? Play, go to bed. Like, what the fuck is going on? I think he's gonna announce nothing tonight. Listen, like, he either announces nothing or this is when we literally withdraw from NATO. And it's all talk because, you know, Trump himself can't unilaterally pull us out of NATO. You need the Senate and the House to vote on that. But he could say it. You know, and then the fucking NATO countries will take that seriously and they'll start preparing for it. And, you know, if he keeps on fucking around, I feel like eventually they'll just kick us out of NATO. Oh, it's absolutely fucking diabolical. So like I said earlier, Trump attended the Supreme Court arguments over his executive order, presidential first. No president has ever done this. And then on top of that, he stormed out of the fucking meeting when he realized that it wasn't going his way. Trump became the first sitting president to attend oral arguments at the U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday when he showed up to watch proceedings in a case challenging one of his executive orders. Let's see. The legal principle of birthright citizenship, which makes anyone born within the U.S. or its territories a citizen, has been widely interpreted as being enshrined in the Constitution since the 14th Amendment was ratified in 1868. Trump's order was immediately hit with lawsuits, including from immigrants' rights groups and states' attorneys general, and lower court rulings blocked it from taking effect. The Trump regime, which argues that the amendment has been interpreted too broadly, appealed those rulings to the Supreme Court, which agreed to weigh in. It is expected to issue a decision at the end of its term in late June or early July. I'm calling it now. They're going to repeal birthright citizenship. They're going to make this like the German one-drop rule style from Nazi Germany. They're going to say that you are not an American unless you were born on American soil, to parents that were born on American soil, and they were born to parents that were born on American soil. I firmly believe they're going to do that, and they're going to try to revoke the citizenship of anybody and everybody who doesn't meet those qualifications in order to prevent them from voting in the midterm elections. I genuinely think that's what's going to happen. I have zero faith in Congress anymore. I have zero faith in the Supreme Court. I have zero faith in Senate. I have zero faith in the House. Like, I do not believe that any of our elected officials have power anymore. They are role-playing and pretending like they do, but if the Constitution means nothing to this man, then neither does your constitutionally provided authority and power. Your representatives, they don't have any fucking power anymore. Valenti, you are old enough to get drafted. I know, I can't fucking wait to get drafted. I'm gonna take the training and then frag my CO, steal as many maps of American locations as I can, and then hand it over to the Iranians. Go, Bismillah, how are you? My name is Chris, no soy Americano. You don't speak Spanish, do you? You know, it'll be great. It'll be great. I'll start learning Arabic and then realize that they speak Farsi. It'll be great. It'll be great. All right, so now I have a fuckload of clips compiled by Aaron Rupar. Make sure you guys subscribe to Aaron Rupar on Twitter because he has some of the best clips, but we're going to be watching these. Trump is actually losing his fucking mind in the Oval Office talking about birthright citizenship in Iran. It's actually crazy fucking shit. We're going to watch a bunch of these clips, and then we're going to move on to the news regarding the UK strengthening their relationship with the EU in preparation of America's withdrawal from NATO, and also the Australians. So essentially, just so you understand, guys, 3 world leaders are addressing their nations today. The Brits, they already did. The Australians, they already did. And then Trump at 9 p.m. The last time those 3 nations together addressed the nation at the same time was COVID. Announcing the fucking worldwide lockdowns. Okay, so things are not looking good. All right, let's listen to the pedophile president.
Howard? So the fundamentals of our democracy are built on voter integrity, right? We all need it. You've said it time and time again. It's a total agreement amongst everybody.
Hey!
So here's the idea. The states, right, run these elections. They will, if they want to use the U.S. mail, the U.S. Postal Service, they're going to get a code, a barcode from the U.S. Postal Service, and they're going to put that on the envelope.
So real quick, just so you guys know, in order to vote by mail this year during the midterm elections, Trump ordered that the Department of Homeland Security has to compile a list of quote unquote eligible American citizens who are allowed to vote through USPS, right? So what that means is they're not going to let any Democrats become registered voters, like to vote by mail. If you're a Democrat, if you're black, if you're brown, if you're trans, if you're gay, and you plan on voting by mail, you will not be allowed to vote by mail. This is the #1 most important part about stealing the midterm elections. First of all, it's a blue nami coming in. Trump knows that no Republicans are going to win in the midterm elections unless they completely rig it. This is a necessary step, which is why I've been telling people, you must vote in person this midterm election. I don't give a fuck if you're in a wheelchair. I don't give a fuck if you live in a different state than you're registered to vote. Get in the car, go home, and fucking vote. If you're in a wheelchair, get somebody to push you. If you do not vote in person as a Democrat, your vote will not be counted, okay? On top of that, even when you do vote in person, there will be ICE. ICE will be in every single voting booth, okay? And what they're going to do is be armed to the teeth and try to intimidate you into not showing up. You have to show up anyway. They're going to be detaining people. They're going to be rounding people up. It's all illegal. All of this is illegal. But you need to understand, you are not up against Republicans. You are up against fascists who do not believe in democracy whatsoever. If they could completely get rid of voting entirely, they fucking would. They would let Donald Trump appoint the next leader. That's what they want. All right, let's listen.
And we will have 1 envelope per vote. None of this time where we have no idea, there's no observers to mail, there's no envelopes, there's no certainty. That's all going to go away, and what the president is doing today is he's going to make sure that mail-in ballots are safe, secure, and accurate, and will have a clear distinction.
By the way, this fucking fat-bodied fascist piece of shit, pedophile, sex trafficking rapist, just voted by mail last week, like he has done in every single fucking election he's ever voted in.
If you voted by mail, you will have it on the envelope. Obviously not on the ballot, but on the envelope. So we will know 1 million mail-in ballots. There'll be 1 million envelopes, and you'll be able to know exactly, correctly, that citizens voted.
We already know that citizens vote. It is illegal for any non-citizen to vote. There has been 9 cases of voter fraud since the year 2000. That was amalgamated by the Heritage Foundation, a Republican think tank that created Project 2025. They went looking for voter fraud and found 9 fucking cases, and the overwhelming majority of them were U.S. citizens, not undocumented immigrants. All right, more.
Wonderful. By the way, I worked very hard with the Olympic Committee and got that terminated for the Olympics. Very nice. Now, girls won't have to get beat up in the boxing ring like they did last time, if you saw those fights. 2 People that transitioned beat the hell out of everyone, out of other people, women. It was
I'm so glad he's focused on the topics that matter the most, like the 13 trans athletes in this nation.
not a pretty sight to watch. So I worked very hard with the Olympic Committee, and we were able to get that out. So the Olympics will not have men and women's sports.
Dude, he's so obsessed with that shit. It's so fucking cringy. More.
Like, there will be no trans mutilation.
Oh, he got it right. Recently, he's been saying mutilization because he's a window-licking retard.
We don't want any transgender mutil.
What the fuck did you just say?
Trans. Don't want any transgender. Don't want any transgender.
Transgenia? That sounds like a great country. Oh my God, is that where trans people come from? Mr. President, where do trans people come from? Transgenia. Oh.
Transgender.
Okay, Transgenia. That must be an African country I've never heard of.
Mutilization of our children. We don't want.
Oh, he said mutilization again. Oh my God. All right. So first of all, this guy has had multiple strokes and he has dementia and he's teetering on the edge of Alzheimer's and he's not long for this earth and his entire body is rotting from the inside. But yeah, we're starting to see his brain melt in real time.
People pouring into our country from other countries all over the world, where prisons are opened up.
Again, bold-faced lies. More.
Safest, Louisiana, New Orleans is unbelievable. They're the safest. They just finished their Mardi Gras.
What, brother? Do you know how to speak anymore?
They had the safest Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
In 58 years. The governor just called me. Jeff Landry just called me. He said it's Louisiana. Chicago should call and say we'd like help. New York should call. They've had a lot of problems that we want help. Los Angeles should call and probably will. I think they have to. Now, we're going to have to do something when it comes World Cup time, and we're going to have to force ourselves upon them, which we.
You are so used to doing that, aren't you, Donald? There's a reason why we're going to have to force ourselves upon them came out of your mouth so fucking smoothly. You've been forcing yourself upon women and young boys and little girls your entire fucking life, dude. You do not know what the word consent means. You do not know what the word no means. You are a fucking rapist.
Have the right to do because
play that again.
They have to. Now, we're going to have to do something when it comes World Cup time, and we're going to have to force ourselves upon them, which we have the right to do because we don't want to have any crime. We don't want to have any problems for the Olympics and the World Cup, and even for 250.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. He's such a rapist that he rapes our nation, too. More.
Mr. President, as you know, there's issues right now with DHS not being funded. Coast Guard is one of them, which is very important, especially with things going on with Strait of Hormuz and here in our own country. You have the power to transfer control from the Department of Homeland Security to the Navy. Are you considering doing that?
No, I have a lot of powers to do things, and we use the powers where appropriate. Sometimes you don't have to use those powers. You know, they're a little severe, and then people accuse me of being a king. You see, the king, this is the new one. They've been trying.
Ooh, no kings must have actually pissed him off a little bit.
For a long time, including 4 years where I was out of office watching how badly this country was run. But they've been trying for a long time. You know what they really are doing is they want to have people coming into our country. They want to have open borders. They want to have criminals coming into our country.
Bro, he literally just repeats the same shit over and over again, no matter what the fucking question is. And his red hat wearing troglodytic followers eat that shit up. They spoon feed themselves this Trump propaganda.
If you were able to sign the executive order to pay the TSA agents, why not do the same for FEMA and other agencies within the Department of Homeland?
Brother, this is a man who quite literally advocated to completely destroy FEMA, not cut their funding, get rid of FEMA entirely. This is also a man who refused to declare a national emergency, I think was it in Michigan? Like, this guy doesn't give a fuck about ecological disaster.
Well, FEMA's different because FEMA, I really believe that it's fine, but I think it's very inefficient. I think, we have smart governors, and one way to tell whether or not they're smart is how well they do. FEMA's a very expensive way of trying to put out a problem, but what I'd rather do is let the states do it and help them financially, but let the states.
You literally do not help them financially. When they beg for help, you do not give them money. That's why FEMA fucking exists.
In other words, you'll have a hurricane in Florida, and people who come from Alaska, they haven't been to Florida. By the time they get used to it, you know, the problem can be solved. So I've never been a big fan of FEMA. I like to keep it local. I like to see governors and neighboring states help each other as opposed to FEMA. FEMA is very expensive, and it really doesn't.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you're willing to give ICE $150 billion, which they already spent, and you want more for them, and you're willing to spend an additional $200 billion in our war with Iran, which, by the way, we are now over a month into the war in Iran. We haven't accomplished a single fucking goal. We have spent like $30 billion, and all we've done is murder a bunch of innocent schoolgirls and an 80-year-old fucking dotard who already had pancreatic cancer, just to replace him with his hardliner son, who is younger and more willing to create nukes. And on top of that, you have fired over 850 Tomahawk missiles. That is more than a quarter of our nation's fucking supply. You fired a year and a half's worth in terms of production. It would take a year and a half to produce 850 Tomahawks. You fired a year and a half's worth of Tomahawks in 1 month and accomplished literally fucking nothing. To the point where you can't even open up the Strait of Hormuz anymore, and you are begging other nations to come in and fucking help you. And now that these other nations are not allowing you to use their fucking bases because they don't want to be roped into this stupid bullshit illegal war of aggression in the name of Israel, they're not allowing you to use their fucking bases, and you are threatening to pull out of NATO because of it. Threatening to make our country weaker than it ever fucking has been. Luigi's literally throwing up. God fucking damn it. All right, I'm gonna have to clean that up, but in the meantime, we're gonna watch another fucking clip of his. This is 2 minutes. That'll give me time to clean that up.
And especially when it's a donation. I mean, the ballroom is a donation. It's gotten great reviews. People love it. And presidents for 150 years have wanted this ballroom to be built, because when we have President Xi or other presidents or prime ministers coming, we don't have a big room. We have the East Room, which is very small. And he said we need congressional approval. He also said, but this is positive for us, I'm allowed, that meaning we are allowed to continue building as necessary to, let's see, what is that? To cover the safety and security of the White House and its grounds. So it says here very carefully, the safety and security have to be protected of the White House.
What the fuck is he holding? Did he write this shit? Is he combing through the shit that he's allowed? He's saying that, like, what? That the Supreme Court says that he's allowed to fix stuff. Like, essentially, the Supreme Court ruled that he, or not the Supreme Court, Congress ruled that he cannot continue working on the ballroom. But they said if there's safety shit, like there's like a loose rafter and you need to fix that, or there's like a, I don't know, like a fucking giant hole, you could fill that up, like, but you can't continue to renovate. Is he saying that everything he's doing is a safety concern now? But again, look at his fucking handwriting.
Well, that's what we're doing, because everything's bulletproof glass, et cetera, including the ballroom. And then it goes construction and all of the things necessary. It says personal safety of the president and his staff are a part of that. So it talks about that we're allowed to continue building. In other words, he put an order on, and even that he gave 14 days. We don't need it, because that's what we're doing. He's allowed to continue building as necessary. And when it talks about the safety and security of the White House and its grounds. So just so you know, I wrote some of the thing down. We have a drone-proof roof, and it talks about the president and his staff. Well, we don't have a lot of bulletproof glass. The White House was built a long time ago. This has the highest level of, in fact,
she threw up again.
They call this graph, this
sorry guys, hold on.
Grass, this the glass. It's bulletproof and it's ballistic proof. It's very thick. It's like that. And it's going 45 feet high, and every window is covered, every door is covered. The roof is drone proof. We have secure air handling systems. You know, bad things happen in the air if you have bad people. We have bio defense all over. We have secure telecommunications and communications all over. We have bomb shelters that we're building. We have a hospital and very major medical facilities that we're building. We have all of these things. So that's called, I'm allowed to continue building as necessary. So think of that. For the safety of the president.
Why is she throwing up? Because she was chewing on this fucking piece of wood like a dumbass.
So we have all these things. So on that, we're okay.
All right, so again, this guy is so much more focused on the ballroom than he is the fucking war that we're waging in the name of Israel, or any of the fucking issues that actually affect the American people. Like, bro, out of all of the people in this nation, how many do you think will ever step foot in that ballroom? Because I'd say out of the 360 million, maybe 10,000 people will end up in that fucking ballroom. All right, we got more here.
So we feel, and we don't feel, we know that congressional approval is not necessary to put up a ballroom.
So again, guys, this is why I tell you all the time, Congress has no power. Congress is moot. It means nothing. Your elected representatives do not have power, and you do not have power, because what is Congress going to do? When he says, no, I really don't give a shit about congressional approval, I'm going to do it anyway. What are they going to do? Arrest him? What are they going to do? It doesn't fucking matter anymore because he's a Führer. He's a dictator. He's an authoritarian. He's a fascist. It means nothing to him.
Many things have been built on the site. They've never gotten congressional approval. And especially when the money is all put up. This is all donations by people that love our country, that love the White House, and that feel it was very necessary.
Mr. President, a couple of questions for
Unfucking believable. More.
you on Iran, but first one that affects Americans here at home, gas prices. Today they hit $4.
We're $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in 6 months.
But Americans
Iran was never going to nuke us. Never. They didn't have a nuke. And even if they did have a nuke, they'd probably fucking nuke Israel first.
feeling the effects in the interim.
And they're also feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan?
Americans are feeling a lot safer? Hey, chat, do any of you feel a lot safer ever since Trump started Operation Epstein's Fury? Because I sure as shit fucking don't. And also, all of us are paying more money for goods now. And now there's a real fucking threat of a nuclear-armed Iran, because the only way for Iran to ever make sure this shit never happens again is to create a nuke. You have unironically made everyone on Earth less safe. You bumbling tangerine tyrant. You fucking fat-bodied, sex-trafficking, child rapist.
And to bring them back down.
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon. And they'll become tumbling down. And stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know two things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini who sadly is no longer with us.
First of all, sadly, when you fucking killed him is crazy. And you calling anybody a madman is fucking delusional. All right, more.
Is that? I see CNN did a poll and they talked about voters or MAGA voters, and my poll came out at 100%. Nobody covers that poll.
No, we've talked about that, bro. Yeah, you have 100% approval among the MAGA base when it comes to your war in Iran. The same way that if I polled Valenti Video's paid members and said, how many of you guys support me, Chris Valenti, it would be 100% approval because you're already loyalists. It's in the fucking name, bro. And this stupid fuck, I don't even think he understands what that means. He thinks 100% of voters completely support the war in Iran because he's that fucking stupid. And let this be a sign, just so you understand, that poll is real. There is no such thing as an educated MAGA voter. It doesn't exist. Everybody who supports Donald Trump is retarded. All of them. All of them. There's not fucking one person who supports Donald Trump that is capable of logic or critical thinking. They are all bumbling fucking morons, dude.
Another poll was at 92% approval. I think that the people understand it. We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, they'll go up through the Strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually. But We have nothing to do with that.
Brother, anybody tries to go through the Strait of Hormuz right now without Iranian approval, they are getting bombed to the high heavens, dude.
What happens in the Strait?
Guys, just so you understand, we have not even touched the Iranian missile silos because we don't know where they are. Iran is like a mountain fortress, okay? And in the mountains, they have literal like train systems, like subway systems, where they are delivering these rockets to different launch points all throughout the fucking desert. And like the cartoons, dude, the fucking dirt of the desert opens up and out comes this missile, launches, and then goes right back down, the dirt closes, and it fucking goes back on the train and moves. Goes to another launch moment. Not to mention the fucking drone facilities that are also throughout the mountains being launched from God knows where. We have no fucking radar in the region. We have no air superiority. We are getting our asses beat. Fucking 12 of our bases in the region are gone. They're not hit. They're gone, obliterated, Donald, turned into barbecue chicken, gone. The United States government is lying to your fucking faces, dude. Oh, 13 dead? Hundreds are fucking dead. Hundreds of US soldiers are dead, and they are lying to your fucking face. Jesus Christ.
We're not going to have any.
Not to mention the fact that the Iranians are launching the same amount of missiles now on like day 31 than they were on day 1. The same amount of missiles. They haven't even tapped into their hypersonic Mach 4 missiles. They sent one to Israel, sort of as like a, hey, look what we've got. This shit's coming later once your Iron Dome has fully failed and you're out of American interceptors. And they're going to pummel the fuck out of Israel. And I'm going to clap, and I'm going to say Bismillah, and I'm going to say Inshallah, and I'm going to fucking celebrate every time a missile hits fucking Israel. Every time. That's called karma, bitch. More.
Or some other country wants to get oil or.
Oh, we just watched him say that.
But if along the Strait, but if they want something, but I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3. We're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous.
Yeah, within 2 or 3 weeks, it's all going to be over. That's what you literally said on day 1, that this will be 2 weeks. That's also what you said during the Iraq War before it was a 22-year-long fucking conflict.
Missile-making facilities, we, as you probably read or wrote, we knocked out, excuse me?
You did not knock out any of their missile facilities, you lying sack of shit.
Pardon me for interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war in
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, so that means we're going to be there for at least a year.
Reason for us to do this. Look, problem with the Strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, oh, it's unsafe. It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country or you. They can drop it. Or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship. Or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles.
Hey, what about the Shahed drones that are destroying everything, huh? What about the cruise missiles that they have, huh? Anything regarding that? Or are we just going to pretend it's small arms fire from the coast?
That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the Strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today, I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through.
Not true whatsoever. There were 10 Pakistani oil tankers that were allowed to go through because Pakistan and Iran have a good relationship. But all of that money is going to go to the BRICS fucking nations, dog. It ain't going to you.
We're negotiating with them right now.
No, you're not. Lying again. He's not negotiating with anybody. The entire Iranian leadership has been decentralized. Even if you were negotiating with somebody, you're not negotiating with the rest of the Iranian generals, which is why one Iranian general said that we're going to stop bombing the GCC nations, and the rest of them kept on fucking bombing them because you dug your own fucking grave, Donnie.
Again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that.
No, your goal was to ensure the fact that Israel did not release the videos of you raping children that they keep in a vault in Tel Aviv. And because that was your goal, you are willing to do anything and everything, including sending America's goyim, America's young boys and girls, to fight and die in the name of fucking Israel. More.
Change was not one of the things
we
I
just
had.
listened to that?
Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days longer to do the job. But we want to knock out every single thing they have. Now, it's possible that we'll make a deal before that, because we'll hit bridges, and we've hit some. We'll hit some bridges. We've got a couple of nice bridges in mind. But if they come to the table, that'll be good. But
why would they ever negotiate with you? In the middle of negotiations, you started Operation Midnight Hammer last June. After negotiations, 2 hours after the Iranians agreed to the uranium enrichment levels that you proposed, then you started Operation Epstein's Fury. Why would they ever participate in another fucking negotiation with Americans?
It doesn't matter whether they come or not. We've set them back. It'll take 15 to 20 years for them to rebuild what we've done to them.
No, motherfucker, it's gonna take 15 to 20 years to rebuild us, to rebuild the global market, to rebuild the oil economy. You have destroyed fucking everything, not to mention what's gonna happen when the desalination plants are hit in the GCC nations. You're literally going to render the entirety of the Middle East uninhabitable. People are gonna fucking start dying of thirst, and there's gonna be a mass exodus. You're worried about fucking immigrants now? Just you wait until there are millions of immigrants from all over the fucking Middle East just fucking flooding every nation surrounding them because of your actions.
They have no...
More.
President Trump, you talked about how the ballroom needs to have a drone-proof roof.
Right.
There have been drone swarms flying over sensitive military installations in the U.S. over the last couple of weeks. The
Yep.
reports are they don't look commercial and they can't be jammed. Is this another country's military?
I don't think so. We have a great system of... Do you notice that over the last 4 or 5 days you haven't seen very many drone hits, right? We have some unbelievable anti-drone weaponry that's...
No, you don't. No, you don't. To the point where you're literally begging Zelensky to teach us how to shoot down drones. No, you fucking don't. You got Zelensky touring the Middle East, teaching every fucking country how to fight back against drone swarms.
But you want to have, like, for instance, the ballroom. We have a very powerful very steel roof with other things in it. And you want to have, if you're building a building for security, just like his judge's opinion, you have to have security for the president and his staff. You need heavy, strong ceilings. You need seriously thick, bulletproof, ballistic glass. And we have that. Other buildings don't. You know, fairly modern buildings don't have that. They have roofs that are weak and they have regular glass windows.
There was this incident.
Fucking dumbass piece of shit. More.
This incident down at Barksdale.
Oh, nope, we saw that.
There was a viral video.
Oh, so I don't know if you guys saw this viral video recently. Kid Rock at his fucking house had 2 Apache helicopters come in and fly outside of his pool and stop, and like he waved to them, he saluted. It was a good photo op. The army immediately began an investigation into this because it's highly fucking illegal. Let's listen to Trump's take on it.
I don't know if you saw it. Army helicopters hovering near Kid Rock's house in Nashville. Did you see that video?
I didn't see it, no, but I'm sure they had a good time.
So the Army just said the crews of these helicopters have been suspended. What do you think?
Yeah, and then the crews of the helicopters were suspended, and then Pete Hegseth immediately lifted their suspension because he's the most unserious war criminal that we've ever had, be an alcoholic Secretary of War Crimes.
Well, it depends. Well, they probably shouldn't have been doing it. Yes, you're not supposed to be playing games, right? But I'd take a look at it. They like Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock. Maybe they were trying to defend him. I don't know.
What a fucking dumbass. Oh my God.
Does Iran have to make a deal for the U.S. to end its operation in Iran? And
No,
have you spoken,
no.
and
Iran
have you
doesn't
spoken
have to.
directly?
Iran doesn't have to make a deal. No. Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people. It's a new regime. They are much more accessible. They are right. You know, they said we have a present for you, Mr. President, out of respect. And they said, wait a minute. Do you want me to answer the question? You're a fresh person. You know, we've had a lot of problems with you, haven't we?
He only talks like this to female reporters, by the way, because he doesn't have the audacity to talk like this to a man.
No, they don't. You asked me a question. No, they don't have to make a deal with me.
More.
Mr. President, the Iranian government threatened a bunch of U.S. companies today in the region, including Google, Apple.
With what? What did they threaten them with? PB guns? Or
Well, that's a
they don't have much
question.
left to threaten.
My question.
They don't have much left to threaten. What about their never-ending fleet of Shahed drones that you haven't even laid a fucking finger on? How about all of the missiles that they're launching? How about that shit? BB guns? Fuck you. Suck my dick. God, I fucking hate this piece of shit.
For you is, are you?
I don't know. I mean, what are they? You made a statement. What did they threaten them with? I don't know. Tell me, how did they threaten them?
Well, all I know is that they threatened them, sir.
What does that mean?
Fair enough.
What do you mean fair enough? Okay, no, that journalist is a dumbass. How do you not threaten them with missiles and drones. How do you not have an answer to that fucking question locked in? How do you not have that fucking answer locked in? Jesus Christ.
Said something nasty.
Is the government in touch with these companies? Are you helping to backstop them?
You don't even know what the threat was. What was the threat? I haven't.
Strikes! The official threat was that they would strike these areas. That means drones and missiles. Oh my God.
What was the threat?
This language is so vulgar, worst stream ever. Suck my dick from taint to tip, you fat-bodied fucking chud. I don't give a shit. You can't handle the fucking heat? Step out of the kitchen, pussy boy.
Did they say they're going to blow them up? They're going to hit them. They're not. You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to hit them with a nuclear weapon. Yeah.
Is this something you're concerned about, sir?
No.
Iran's IRGC issues a warning that they will target 18 U.S. technology companies if the U.S. continues targeted assassinations of Iranian leaders beginning on April 1st. Those companies include NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft.
Most of those people are dead already.
Jesus Christ, the way that he talks about death, it's so fucked up. All right, I don't even know if we should continue going because this shit does not end. I'm letting you know, guys, this shit does not end. Actually, maybe there's only a few more. Maybe there's only a fucking few more. Let's see. Let's talk about this one.
Your son Eric posted a photo of what will be the Trump presidential library.
Oh my God, yesterday we watched that video that Eric Trump, Trump's retard son, like the actual bumbling inhuman fucking vermin. Eric Trump posted an AI-generated video of something that he calls the Donald J. Trump Presidential Library, and it's just a fucking Klan rally. And there's 56 stars on the flag, or sorry, 51 stars on the flag instead of 50, probably for either Canada or Greenland, and a 10-meter tall statue of Donald Trump made out of pure gold, sig heiling to the entire fucking crowd. Not a single fucking book in sight, by the way, even though it's called a library.
It's a huge skyscraper.
In Miami.
Is that all a library? What else is going in?
No, well, it's a library. It's a museum or a library. It's a presidential, but I wouldn't start it till I'm out of office. I don't believe in building libraries or museums. It's really like...
I don't believe in building libraries or museums. You do believe in building a ballroom. You do believe in building the Führer bunker. You do believe in building the Triomphe de Trump, the Arc de Trump. You know what I mean? Like, you... Of course you don't believe in fucking libraries. You don't know how to fucking read. And of course you don't believe in museums, because when you look back at the real history of this fucking nation, it's pretty damn bad.
The Barack Hussein Obama one in Chicago, in not a good location, and it's a very unattractive building that's seriously late and seriously over budget. I think you're going to see a great one here, and it'll go up on time, on budget, best location in Miami, best. They say it's the best block in Miami, and the state worked with us.
Will people live in the floors?
No, it's going to be most likely a hotel. You know, this concept could be office, but...
What library is a hotel? What the fuck? This is just you making money off being the president. This is just corruption. By the way, we made Jimmy Carter give up his fucking peanut farm, okay? And this cocksucker was building fucking hotels?
It's most likely going to be a hotel with a beautiful building underneath and a 747 Air Force One in the lobby, which is going to be a trick.
You're putting Air Force, we're putting the fucking plane in the lobby. Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
The Supreme Court tomorrow is going to hear arguments about your executive order trying to get rid of birthright citizenship.
And I'm going.
You're going to go to the Supreme Court
I think
tomorrow?
so. I do believe
And
it.
just sit there and listen.
Because I have listened to this argument for so long, and this is not about Chinese billionaires or billionaires from other countries who all of a sudden have 75 children or 59 children.
Does he think Chinese people have 75 kids? Is he dead ass? Is he dead ass? Yo, I have to remind you again, if you support Donald Trump, you're retarded. Okay, I have to remind you, and again, I need you to understand, I have no problem with retards, and I would never call somebody who has an actual mental disability a retard, okay? But I am gonna call you red hat wearing troglodytes retarded, okay? Because I know where it hurts. I know how to push your fucking buttons. You guys, like, if I called you a fascist, it wouldn't hurt because you don't know what that means. Or you'd be proud of being one. But there's a couple of words I can call you that'll actually hit you in your fucking belly. Your fat fucking bellies.
In one case, or 10 children becoming American citizens. This was about slaves. And if you take a look, slaves, we're talking about slaves from the Civil War. And if you take a look when it was filed, all of this legislation, all of this, everything having to do with birthright citizenship, it was at the end of the Civil War. The reason
Hello to the
was
chest
it
hair.
had to do with
Hello.
the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get an American citizenship. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's been so badly handled by legal people over the years.
How many U.S. citizens are from Birthright? How many U.S. citizens are Birthright? Let's see. 4 million. Okay, so about 4 million people in the United States of America are birthright citizens. I don't have a way to calculate this, but I'd be willing to bet that like the overwhelming majority of them also vote Democrat, because how could you be the child of an immigrant and then vote Republican? The only way you could do that is if you're, you know, mentally disabled. Avi is a birthright citizen. Okay, so yeah, Avi, they want you to not be able to fucking vote. Speaking of Avi, get ready. I'm gonna whip you up on screen pretty soon. We're almost done here with the last couple of Trump videos.
You could have the greatest Obama and Biden. I don't care how good your case.
Fuck that.
You could have.
Fuck that. Oh, here we go.
In New York City recently, we had a big snowstorm. Mayor Mandami.
Mayor Mandami. Let me get Zoran on the board. Zoran Kwame Mamdani. Mamdani. The name is Mamdani. Mamdani. The name is Mamdani. How can you not pronounce this when you have a fucking crush on him, bro?
In New York City recently, we had a big snowstorm. Mayor Mandami he called out for people to shovel snow, but you had to give identification with picture.
Because they're government employees and they have to pay taxes. You fucking idiot. Oh my God.
If you didn't have, and it wasn't one identification, you had to have two. So to shovel snow in New York City, you need identification, double.
No, to fucking be a government employee.
But to vote, which is maybe our most cherished thing, you don't need. They don't want voter ID, the Democrats, because they want to cheat.
Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, I think there's only, what, a few more? Yeah.
With the New York Times. If you read the New York Times prior to my election victory, including the first one, and the second one too.
He still can't concede. He still can't concede the second election.
I won 3 times.
No, you didn't!
Convincingly. But let's go to the third victory. If you read the New York Times, you would say, oh, Trump's going to lose. But I won in a landslide. I won the popular vote. I won the election.
You didn't win on a fucking landslide.
Electoral college in a massive number, right? Massive. I won the counties. 86% of the counties I won.
Jesus Christ. I think there's only one more. Yeah, oh my God, there's so much more. All right, there's 3 more. I'm so sorry that I have to put you through this. But like, you know, this is what we do here in the Valenti Videos channel. We waltz through the fire, you know. I have to watch this. You have to watch this. I could watch it alone. You could watch it alone. But no, instead, you're going to lock eyes with me. You're going to grab my fucking hand. I'm going to put the other hand on the small of your back, and I might slip a pinky in your ass. And we are going to waltz through the fucking fire. Don't you look away. Don't you fucking look away. We're going to waltz through the fucking fire together, bitch.
Really, Chicago should call and say we'd like help.
Oh, this is where he said he's going to force himself upon them. Okay, so that's it. That's all we got of the Trump clips. I'm so glad that's finally over. But now we are going to watch Keir Starmer deliver a national address regarding the Iran conflict. Okay, it is absolutely bonkers. Avi, are you here? Do you want me to pull you up now, or do you want me to pull you up afterwards? I got Avi here. If you don't know Avi Bagla, that is my manager and my producer. He is also very well versed in geopolitics, and I think it'd be important to have somebody on here who is a little bit less mentally unstable as I am. So let's see if we can bring up Avi. Avi, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. We're going to go to collab cam, Avi, settings. We cannot hear you. Can you guys hear Avi, or is this a problem? Why the fuck can't I hear you? Talk real quick for me. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's muted. He shouldn't be muted. Collab cam settings.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. You good?
Okay. What happened? This is better audio quality.
No, this is worse. Way worse.
This is worse audio.
Wait, now we're good. Talk again?
Talking.
You're good. Chat, you can hear him? We're good to go? Perfect. Okay. I'm going to play this. We're going to watch this in full. I might pause it here and there, but we're going to watch this and analyze it together, okay? Good to go?
All right, I'm looking at chat. Just Chris, if you ask me for opinions, I have to mute the stream.
I know. You have a slight delay. I mean, we could just watch it in full, and I can give my opinions on a quick pause, and then we'll get your takes towards the end. All right, chat. Let's watch Keir Starmer address the nation. Now, this is the Prime Minister of the UK, if you've been living under a fucking rock. But essentially, what you're going to see here is he is preparing to rejoin the EU in preparation for America's withdrawal from NATO. Here we go.
The conflict in the Middle East has now entered a second month, and while we're working at pace for de-escalation and peace, it is now clear that the impact of this war will affect the future of our country.
No shit.
So today I want to reassure the British people that no matter how fierce this storm, we are well placed to weather it, and that we have a long-term plan to emerge from it a stronger and more secure nation. First, let me say once again, this is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict.
It ain't my fucking war either, dude. It's fucking Benjamin Netanyahu's and Donald Trump's.
That is not in our national.
I don't even think it's Donald Trump's. I think it's Netanyahu's war, and we're getting just dragged into it.
Well, I mean, listen, I think that this was gonna happen no matter what, but Donald Trump was just the first president who is, I guess, like, A, blackmailed to the high heavens, and B, stupid enough to actually think he could win.
Yeah, no, that's, for once, Lindsey Graham is super happy because he has a dumb enough president to actually take him into this war.
Well, I also guarantee you, and let me know what you think about this, I guarantee you the invasion of Iran was proposed to George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Trump in his first term, and I think that only now is he brazen enough because of all the shit that he's gotten away with, and also now we know, like, in Tel Aviv there's a fucking vault of videos of fucking kids, so he can't really say no to Israel, but I think he is the only one who is stupid enough to do this.
Yeah, I think honestly he would have probably done it in his first term, but he had that whole like ecosystem around him who cared about rule of law, who all understood that Iran would have been terrible to go into. But now that he's surrounded by sycophants, and now that the people are warhawks who are willing to do everything he wants to do, they're just going to, like, all they want is war with Iran. All daddy's wanted, all daddy GOP has wanted for decades is war with Iran. So I think you're right. I think Obama had that meeting and said no. I think I think Reagan did. It's insane.
Well, that's also, and then I'll click play right after this last point. That's also why I actually genuinely fear a nuclear strike, because I bet you all these other leaders were like, we couldn't win unless we fucking nuked them. And Trump is the type of guy who goes, then let's nuke them. You know, like, and everyone else goes, no, we're not fucking starting global thermonuclear war over the fucking Strait of Hormuz, you know? But I mean, here's last point. I think Trump has three options: a full ground invasion where we lose thousands, if not tens of thousands of troops. So that's still a loss, right?
Yeah.
A nuclear strike, which will change the entire global economy. It'll change geopolitics forever. It'll change the world that we live in, which is, again, a loss.
Also, I think something that's already happened. But continue.
But then the last one is surrendering. Like, if your goal is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, those are your three options. And all three of them, one of them, you get thousands of US soldiers killed and you look like a scumbag. The other one, you nuke them and you're the next Hitler. Or I guess the next fucking FDR. Regardless. Or three, you surrender and look like a baby back bitch.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Oh, dude, Chatter just said, when Avi turns to his left, it looks like he's straight up talking to Chris in the room. That's exactly why, like, we angled it. It's great that our walls kind of look similar. All right, back to it. Go ahead.
Okay, let's keep watching.
Here we go.
And the most effective way we can support the cost of living in Britain is to push for de-escalation in the Middle East and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz.
How are you going to do that, Keir?
Which is such a vital route for energy.
How are you going to do that?
To that end, we're exploring each and every diplomatic avenue that is available to us. The Foreign Secretary and the Chancellor have met their counterparts in the G7. The Defence Secretary has been in the Middle East.
Real quick, Chatter did correct me. It wasn't FDR. You're right. It was Truman. FDR had the plans to drop the nukes, or to drop the atom bombs, and then he fucking died. But yeah, you're right. It was Truman.
Speaking to our partners, and the UK has now brought together 35 nations around our statement of intent to push as one for maritime security across the
Real
world.
quick, I want to take a bet because I haven't watched this. I bet you he does not have the balls to say Donald Trump's name fucking once in this entire speech. What do you think, Avi? Have you watched this?
I mean, I've watched this, so I'm not going to say anything.
All right, I'm willing to bet money on that. Here we go.
Cool.
And today I can announce that later this week,
I'm actually going to speed this up because he speaks so slow. I'm going to put this from 1 to 1.5.
Secretary will host a meeting that brings those nations together for the first time, where we will assess all viable diplomatic and political measures that we can take to restore freedom of navigation.
Is he talking about a meeting with, like, the EU? He's talking about European leaders getting together to have a meeting to discuss the maritime situation?
I think it's not even just the EU. I think it's even like North Africa.
Yeah, like any nation within the region. Dude, this is so fucking bad. He's not, like, Trump is not only destroying, like, our relationship with our allies, but I'm afraid he's going to create new relationships between our former allies and our so-called adversaries.
I don't know. My long-term theory is that BRICS currency is going to be the new
world reserve
currency.
I agree.
Right? So, wait, people said look to my left, and then it looks like I'm chatting with you.
Like that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
I think that's what's going to happen, but I think 35 nations is more than the nations in Europe, right? Like there has to be. And so if he's having a meeting with 35 nations, that means he's talking with
India,
Australia.
Probably, and
he's
Pakistan.
Probably talking with India. I don't think Pakistan.
No? Well, Trump is talking to Pakistan. He's using them as fucking mediators.
Yeah. That's why I don't think it's Pakistan in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's keep going.
Yep.
The safety of trapped ships and seafarers, and resume the movement of vital commodities. Following that meeting, we will also convene our military planners to look at how we can marshal our capabilities and make the strait accessible and safe after the fighting has stopped. Because I do have to level with people on this. This will not be easy.
Oh, fuck!
I spoke with relevant business leaders in shipping, finance, insurance, and energy supply in Downing Street on Monday. And they were clear with me, the primary challenge they face is not one of insurance, but one of safety and security of passage. So the fact is, we need all of this together.
Yeah, I love how Trump was talking about giving these fucking ships insurance as if that matters when they all die. They're like, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll give you insurance so if you get bombed, you don't have to pay for it. What about the crew? What the fuck? Like, oh my, dude, he doesn't give a shit.
No, they don't matter. You know that this is true, that we're disposable for capital.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and especially like when it comes to soldiers and sailors, and I mean, I know that these oil tankers like are not actually members of the U.S. military, but I'm sure Trump considers them in the exact same light.
Yeah.
From the military strength.
I mean, this video is long if you want to keep watching it.
Yeah, let's keep going. Sorry.
Partnership with industry, so they too can mobilise once the fighting has stopped. And above all, clear and calm leadership. That is what this country is ready to provide. Because my guide from the start of this conflict has always been the British national interest. And freedom of navigation in the Middle East is in the British national interest. Let me turn now to the impact at home, because I know that this is causing huge concern. People turn on their television,
I think
they
that's
look at their screens.
huge, is him saying the British national interest. Like, he keeps repeating that because I think like that is, and I don't know if we already got to this part, but he's talking about tightening our relationship with the EU, right? I think he knows how bad the Brexit was.
Yeah.
Right? And tightening the relationship with the EU is really important, but he's talking about the British national interest, what we have to do at home. He understands that it does not matter. It does not matter what happens.
He's like kind of distancing
outside.
himself from America entirely and trying to convince his people that like, hey, listen, America's going to do one thing. We're going to have to do another, whatever's the best for us.
Right. But I think also he's distancing himself from any force that might be an external force.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, we'll talk about predictions later, but we talked about NATO, right? And you've been talking about NATO. Thanks for the loyalist, Sharon.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And I think for that, right? Like, if we pull out of NATO, which one, we've already been seeing a change in the global order, but that drastic a change in the global order is unprecedented. That's crazy.
You can't return from that. That's a point of no return.
Yeah, and I think that's going to happen. And like maybe the announcement will be, I will be proposing to Congress that we pull out of NATO.
Somebody just said, "Who is this brown Chris?" That's unfucking believable. That's unfucking believable.
Yeah. I mean,
again, reminder: this is Avi Bagla. This is my manager and producer. He's also a very politically sound mind. He's also a very good engineer. He also created the cube, as you guys know. I'll show you the cube again real quick. There's the cube with Mao Zedong on it. So you guys know Avi. Yeah. All right, let's try to power through this.
Yeah, sorry.
It's exploding.
No, it's okay. It's both of us.
Aggressive rhetoric. They worry that the UK will be dragged into this. We won't. But I also know that people have a deep sense that this will affect their family and their household. They can see it at the petrol pumps, and they worry about their energy bills. It is the job of government to meet these moments, not just with immediate action, but also with clarity about our direction. That's what I remember about the 1970s, when my family could not pay every bill. We struggled through the energy shocks and the price rises of that decade. But we always believed in the end that Britain would secure a better future for us. And I think that's what's been lacking in the crises of recent years. And I'm not prepared to ask the British people once again to go through a crisis, come out of it, and say, business as usual, back to the status quo. So on our economy, on our energy, and on our defence, this time will be different. We will make Britain a fairer and more secure country, because that hope is what is needed as the country comes together, and because how we emerge from this crisis will define us for a generation. So, as I set out a few weeks ago, we have a 5-point plan for the immediate crisis. We're cutting energy bills by over £100 per household today.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, no, we're in an energy crisis. If the government is willing to eat that fucking bill.
Yeah.
Oh, this is way worse than I thought.
We've extended the cut in fuel duty until September, and we're monitoring that situation daily. We're supporting people exposed to heating oil rises, setting aside £53 million for that. We're taking back control of our energy security by investing in clean British energy, because that is the only way we get your bills off the roller coaster that is controlled by Putin and the Iranian regime. And frankly, I'm sick and tired
Putin
of
and the
your
Iranian regime. How about Donald Trump? Dude, I guarantee. I'm telling you, he's not going to say his name once. He's not going to say his name once.
Down, because we're on the international market. When if we took control of our energy and had homegrown renewables, we could stabilise your bills. And finally, as I say, we'll continue to push for de-escalation in the Middle East. But look, there's also a bigger argument here, because every one of these measures is part of a long-term plan to make our country more secure and more resilient to shocks like this. I mean, just look at what's happening today. Today, your energy bills will be cut because of the action that we took at the budget. And whatever happens in Iran, that price is now fixed until July. Today, if you need a prescription, instead of rising as they used to, the price will be frozen for a year. Today, if you're working on the national living wage, your wages will go up. Next week, on Monday, the state pension will go up. Next week, the 2-child limit will be scrapped, lifting 450,000 children out of poverty, the vast majority from working households. And next week, the biggest strengthening of workers' rights in a generation will become law. A huge boost to the economic security of working people.
Dude,
now, some people
like, I'm jealous. Why can't we have any of that here? Any of it. One of those things here. God damn.
Yeah. I mean, the big issue, it's also funny because people hate Keir Starmer in the UK.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not the best, but I mean, that shit's better than what Donnie's doing.
No, 100%.
Let's
get back to it.
This isn't new. This was already planned. To which I say, yes, that is my point. Everything I've done in politics, certainly since the Ukraine war in 2022, is a response to this new and dangerous world. We campaigned for a windfall tax on oil and gas companies, which we extended. We focused on the cost of living, and we acted at the budget. And we've always emphasised the need for clean British energy. And we've invested because we knew that making our country secure in this world was the ultimate test that we would face, and our ultimate responsibility to the British people. Now, it's not going to be easy, clearly. And in the coming weeks, as you would expect, we will continue to assess the economic effects. We will continue to stand up for the British national interest. And we will continue to do what we must to guide our country calmly through this storm. However, it is increasingly clear that as the world continues down this volatile path, our long-term national interest requires closer partnership with our allies in Europe and with the European Union. Now we have made progress on this front, on agriculture, electricity.
So he's quite literally saying we're gonna try to rejoin the EU because we can no longer rely on America.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Emissions trading and more. But as the Chancellor has rightly pointed out, Brexit did deep damage to our economy.
By the way.
And
Yeah,
the
it's almost
opportunities
over.
to strengthen our security and cut the cost of living are simply too big to ignore. So, in the coming weeks, we will announce a new summit with our EU partners. And I can tell you that at that summit, the UK will not just ratify existing commitments made at last year's summit. We want to be more ambitious. Closer economic cooperation, closer security cooperation, a partnership that recognises our shared values, our shared interests, and our shared future. A partnership for the dangerous world that we must navigate together. A world where this government will be guided at all times by the interests of the British people. Thank you.
Oh, God. Okay, well, that one. You got any takes on that so far? Because next we do have to watch the Australian one. The Australian one's only 3 minutes long, so it's not that bad. But what's your overall take on what we just fucking listened to?
I mean, I hear that and I'm like, oh, they know the U.S. is pulling out of NATO. Their intelligence is telling them that, or that Donald Trump is planning to fully escalate the war. Like, I think 9 p.m. happens, 10 p.m. a bomb hits Karg Island or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
He is the type of guy to fucking think that he's capable of a fake out where he's like, we're negotiating, everything's fine, and then bomb them, and it's like, brother, they know that's coming.
Yeah. No, I think what's going to happen. So coming out of that, some fascinating things. One, fuel crisis. This sounds like everything the leaders would say in the 70s. It's very similar. It's Iran again, obviously. Like, we knew this was going to happen. We've done this before. It's been 40 years. Like, it shouldn't have been so long for us to relearn this lesson. But two, something I think that was really interesting is, or two things. One, renewed investment in renewable energy, right? We're going to push for that. We're going to use that. We're going to do that. They know oil is almost certainly never going to be okay again.
Yep.
I think that's, to me, there's like, okay, we're going to have a hiccup, but it's a fuel crisis. We'll come back. That was the 70s. Right now, it's, no, we have no choice. We can never have this happen again. I think the other thing is tying the UK more to the EU, tying them to other things really reminds me of the Mark Carney speech from a while ago, talking about the new global world order.
Yeah.
When they partnered with China, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing BYD cars in the UK.
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or more of them. They might already be available in the UK, but seeing like Chinese excellence instead of just like made in China products.
Well, that's like a fear of mine, is that if we actually pull out of NATO, which, by the way, Trump can't do that unilaterally. I mean, like, he could say he will. The thing is, I don't know if Congress even has power to stop him anymore. The other nations will take what he says seriously. But if we pull out of NATO, we do provide almost all of the military security for NATO. So if we pull out, they're going to have two options. One, all these European nations need to beef up their military to the point where it could almost stand up to the US, which I don't even think is possible. Or two, turn to China. Like, do you think it's possible that China ever joins NATO?
No.
No, but some sort of different alliance where like the Chinese military provides security?
No, I also don't think that's going to happen. Look, the UK used to be the king of the seas, right? Like, we have to remember that the British Empire ruled the ocean until the plane was made.
Yeah.
I think like we have to like accept that smartness, and it wasn't until World War I, World War II that we thanks Onyx. Well, that's
Thank
so
you,
cool.
brother.
Also, I saw corrected BYD cars are already in the UK. Would love to have them here. They're amazing. But I don't know, man. I don't think you get that alliance with China because China is still very closely allied with North Korea, Russia. You can't do that, but you can do economic partnerships.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is setting that up for. That's what Canada did with China, right? Was economic partnerships. We're basically ceding our car market to you. BYD cars are I'm just like reading your chat. This is great. BYD cars are electric cars that are manufactured by China, much cheaper than Tesla, very effective, but are banned in the US because of national security concerns.
In reality, it's banned in the US because it would put Tesla out of business. The same reason why like Chinese phones are banned in the US because it would put fucking Apple out of business. Meanwhile, we call this the free market economy. It's such fucking bullshit. But all right, do you want to watch Anthony Albanese now?
Yeah, I mean, the general take, what is your take? You didn't really say. Like, what's your response
I think that it is never a good sign when the Brits try to distance themselves from America, because despite the fact that we have a little bit of a tumultuous, is that the phrase? Whatever.
Tumultuous, yeah.
Whatever. We have a rough relationship considering, the revolution. They are still our oldest ally. They're almost like, they're like that uncle that used to beat you, but now
don't forget the French. You can't forget the French.
Okay, of course the French, but the French, at the end of the day, I love you, France, but you are useless. Like, you're fucking useless, dude. I don't understand what you provide to our relationship. Now, maybe that's because I'm stupid, but I don't know. I don't fucking know. But essentially my point is this. If our oldest allies are trying to distance themselves from us, that means, like what you said, their intelligence knows shit that the American public doesn't know. And I bet you one of those things is like, Trump is not just talking about withdrawing from NATO. He's dead ass serious. And he's probably going to mention it tonight during his address to the nation. I got a clip later that I'm going to show of Marco Rubio literally saying, if NATO won't let us use our bases, why are we in NATO? And it's like, oh, so you guys are all on board for this. You're prepared. This is what Trump and his regime does, is they grease you up for like weeks, months, and years before making that decision, so that when the decision comes, it's not that much of a shock, right? Which is exactly what they did by like slowly greasing us up by saying that there was a criminal illegal alien invasion at the southern border, 25 million strong. They said that for fucking years before beginning a mass deportation campaign. You can't just not mention that shit, get the presidency, and then start mass deporting people, because then people freak the fuck out. But I think he's doing the exact same thing again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, Onyx dropped another 10.
Oh, thank you, Onyx. Much appreciated, brother. All right. Now we're going to listen to Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister, addressing his nation, which, again, guys, it's never a good sign when multiple world leaders are addressing their nations on the same fucking day. This one's way shorter, 3 minutes, and since it's an Australian accent, I'm not going to speed it up.
My fellow Australians, by nature, we're an optimistic country, but I understand that right now it's hard to be positive. The war in the Middle East has caused the biggest spike in petrol and diesel prices in history. Australia is not an active participant in this war, but all Australians are paying higher prices because of it. I know that you're seeing this at the servo and at the supermarket, and I understand farmers and truckies, small businesses and families are doing it tough. And the reality is, the economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months.
For years, dude.
Tonight, I want to speak directly with you about what the government is doing to shield Australia in these uncertain times. And also, what all of us can do to help our country and help each other in the period ahead. On Monday, National Cabinet adopted the National Fuel Security Plan. Leaders from both sides of politics, from right around the country, working together to keep Australia moving, making sure that we are prepared so that if the global situation gets worse and our fuel supplies are seriously disrupted over the long term, we can coordinate the next steps together. Today, we cut the fuel excise in half, cutting the tax on every litre of petrol by 26 cents. Those savings have started showing up at your petrol station.
They did the same thing.
Yeah, they're immediately giving immediate relief to the people. See, this is why I know shit is going to get so much worse if they have to give immediate relief. Like, not like, oh, next week. No, there's like, no, starting today, bro.
Yeah.
For our truckies, we have cut the heavy vehicle road user charge to zero. Both these measures will be in place for the next 3 months. We are working to bring the price of fuel down, to make more fuel here and to keep it on shore, and get more fuel here, using our strong trading relationships with our region to bring more petrol, diesel and fertiliser to Australia. Now, it's the Australian way that people want to do their bit. And there are simple ways that you can. You should go about your business and your life as normal. Enjoy your Easter. And if you're hitting the road, don't take more fuel than you need. Just fill up like you normally would. Think of others in your community, in the bush and in critical industries. And over coming weeks, if you can switch to catching the train or bus or tram to work, do so.
That's crazy. That's crazy. A world leader going, hey, please take public transit, please, guys. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know.
Oh, shit, 20 gifted memberships from Onyx. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Wait, Onyx, that's 35 at this point.
That's 35 gifted subs. Fuck
Onyx,
yeah.
do you, I mean, are you single?
That's mine, brother. This is my man.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, this is fucking crazy. Like, what? They're acting like I don't know, like your fucking mom, where she's like, hey, could you commute? Can you get your friends to drive you? Because I'm tired of paying for the fucking gas. Like, this is such a bad fucking sign.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing of being like, only take what you need.
Yeah, no, that's remarkable.
Let's finish this because I got thoughts.
Yeah, it's almost over.
That builds our reserves and it saves fuel for people who have no choice but to drive. Farmers and miners and tradies who need diesel every single day. And all those shift workers and nurses who do so much for our country. The months ahead may not be easy. I want to be upfront about that. No government can promise to eliminate the pressures that this war is causing. I can promise we will do everything we can to protect Australia from the worst of it. These are uncertain times, but I'm absolutely certain of this. We will deal with these global challenges the Australian way, working together and looking after each other, as we always have. Thank you and good evening.
Okay. I can't say his candor is really weird for the situation. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
All right. So what's your take on that?
Okay. I mean, look, man, both, like, let's take the fact that, like, the two other English speaking countries in the world did a speech on the fuel crisis, right? Both of their things are going to get more expensive. We're sorry about this. We're going to invest in renewables. We're going to ask you to do things that change your day to day because we need you to. I don't know, man. I think shit's about to change drastically tonight.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why he's addressing the nation, and it's not a fucking good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. All right.
Yeah.
I still have 3 more tabs that I want to cover. So I think this is a useful conversation, but I'm gonna obliterate you from the stream. Let's see how it. Let's everybody make sure
you wanted to talk about AOC, but no, I guess.
Oh shit! Yeah, wait, real quick before we go, Avi here. He was at the AOC, the DSA endorsement. What is it called? You tell me what it's called.
Yeah, I can just explain. No, because I know that was like news last night.
Thank you for the $50 donation. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Juju. No, the AOC committed to not voting for any weaponry for Israel last night.
Atta girl.
Yeah, but that was like on a meeting I was a part of. So that was crazy, but it was really satisfying to see that. But
can you explain what this meeting is? Because you said it was something about like DSA endorsement.
So yeah, one thing I always want to remind people is like the DSA is not an individual. It's not like any of these other orgs.
Real quick, guys, DSA is the Democratic Socialists of America. Both me and Avi are members of the DSA. I'm sure many of you are also members of the DSA. All right, go ahead.
I highly encourage you to become members. Zoran started out in the DSA. AOC started out in the DSA. Rashida Tlaib. Every like socialist you've heard of has a strong relationship with the DSA. So Democratic Socialists of America, I'm an active member of the New York City one. Last night we had our endorsement forum. So the way DSA endorsements work, the key thing there is it's one member, one vote. And every endorsement, you don't get like a cabal of leaders deciding. The entire membership is brought into these things and votes on these things, right? So if you're a member of DSA and you've done electoral action, we have these forums. So Zoran had to go through this to get our endorsement. Claire Valdez, Daria Liza, as well, and then AOC was.
Didn't Chio say not get the endorsement?
Yeah, Chio say went through the endorsement process and didn't get it. And the way these processes work is we hear from the candidate, we ask questions of the candidate, members get to ask questions. This one was a little bit more like held to the chest, and I can only say so much. I'm not a representative of the DSA. I'm not speaking on behalf of them. I'm speaking as a member, and I'm only speaking on things that are like public information. But you do that, and then questions get asked of the candidate. And so one of the questions that was asked was, will you vote against and commit to not voting for any aid to Israel, defensive or otherwise? And she was just like, yes. One word. Good. And which is like a movement of her previous stance, and that was great. But I always want to like talk about the fact that when people are like, why wouldn't DSA do this? Why wouldn't they do that? Like every member is a part of the electoral process, which is not true of like any other.
Oh yeah, when the DNC endorses somebody, it's not like registered Democrats had a say in that. No, that's just like the powers that be at the top. But when it comes to the DSA, we actually have a democratic process where you get to have a say in who we endorse as a group.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's huge.
No, that's huge. And then big things are, to answer some questions in the chat, you can be a member of the DSA. The DSA is an organization, not a party. So just being a member of the DSA does not preclude you from being a Democratic Party member, voting in Democratic primaries. You can still be a registered Democrat. In fact, nearly all of us are. There's this like that we can have like a whole fucking other stream on is like, what is your theory of change? There's a lot of conversations on it. We could even talk about caucuses and everything, but I just wanted to like speak to that. Join DSA. If you go to dsausa.org/join, you become a member. You get the exact same privileges as everyone else. You have the exact same amount of power on paper in the org as Zoran or AOC.
And you get to come to the cool parties. Like, dude, when Zoran won, me and Elvi went to a DSA party. It was fucking electric. It was electric. Remember that? That was awesome.
I mean, that was, we went right after the electoral stream. And
right after he won, we watched Zoran's speech live with everybody in the DSA. It was great.
Yes.
All right.
But anyways, glad AOC has shifted. I think that took a lot of work. Really proud of the people who've done that. And now I'll get out of here so you can keep talking, because I'm sure this video is like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's already an hour and 30, but it's okay. Long videos do well. I only have 3 more things to cover, and they're very simple. So what I'm going to do, everybody say bye to Avi while I nuke him out of existence. You ready, Avi? Hold on tight. You ready? There he goes. He's gone. He was a good man. I just put him back in the cube. He is back in the cube, okay? There he goes. All right. Last few things that we got to cover together. Thank you for the $5 donation. Thank you for becoming a loyalist. What's going on there? What's going on? Everything's freak. Is that Andrew Cuomo? Everything's freaking out. Everything's freaking out on the cube. I'm gonna set it to Joseph Stalin, and then hopefully it'll reset. Ovi can do whatever he wants to do in that cube. All right. Last things I want to show you this. Donald Trump has told the Telegraph's Connor Stringer that he is strongly considering pulling the United States out of NATO after it failed to join in on his war in Iran. So this is why I think he's going to be doing that tonight at around 9, not to mention all the shit that we just watched. And then I want you to hear Marco Rubio. Get a look at this.
When we need them to allow us to use their military bases, their answer is no. Then why are we in NATO? You have to ask that question. Why do we have billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, over the years, trillions of dollars, and all these American forces stationed in the region? If we can only use, in our time of need, we're not going to be allowed to use those bases. So I think there's no doubt, unfortunately, after this conflict is concluded, we are going to have to re-examine that relationship. We're going to have to re-examine the value of NATO and that alliance for our country. Ultimately, that's a decision for the president to make.
No, it's not. That's a decision for the Senate and the House and the Congress to make, because the president of the United States legally cannot unilaterally withdraw us from NATO. Granted, laws mean absolutely nothing to this child rapist.
And he'll have to make it. We're going to finish the job here. As I said, we're very, very close to achieving our objectives on all of these things that I've outlined. But I do think, unfortunately, we are going to have to re-examine whether or not this alliance that has served this country well for a while is still serving that purpose, or is it now become a one-way street where America is simply in a position to defend Europe, but when we need the help of our allies, they're going to deny us basing rights and they're going to deny us overflight? I think these are very legitimate questions that we need to be asking, and this are going to have to be very carefully examined after this conflict is over.
So ironic, considering America is the only country in NATO that has ever invoked Article 5. Like, we like to pretend like it was just America in the fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. It wasn't. The Canadians joined, the Brits joined, some Germans joined. I'm pretty sure some of the Koreans fucking joined, right? So it's so fucking hypocritical. Okay, and then the very last thing I wanted to show you is this. This is Keir Starmer being asked about the U.S. potentially withdrawing from NATO. Get a look.
President Trump has said this morning that he's considering pulling the U.S. out of NATO. You've just talked about looking at a new long-term partnership with the EU, including on security. Is this an acknowledgement that Britain's long-term security relationship with the United States is about to change?
Well, let me say a number of things in response to that. Firstly, NATO is the single most effective military alliance the world has ever seen. And it has kept us safe for many decades, and we are fully committed to NATO. Secondly, that whatever the pressure on me and others, whatever the noise, I'm going to act in the British national interest in all the decisions that I make. And that's why I've been absolutely clear that this is not our war, and we're not going to get dragged into it. But I'm equally clear that when it comes to defence and security and our economic future, we have to have closer ties with Europe. That's why we had the summit last year. This year, as I've just announced, there'll be a further summit. We will make good on the commitments that we put in place last year, but we will also go further in relation to the alignment.
Well, he literally said nothing. He didn't answer the question whatsoever. He didn't have the audacity to say the words United States of America or Donald Trump. What a fucking pussy. I'll tell you that much. What an absolute fucking pussy. All right. Listen, guys, incredibly long video, but there's also an incredible amount of shit happening. So, forgive me for the length of this video. I will probably be live tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard to catch Trump's address to the nation. Granted, he always starts late. Here's the thing, guys. If Donald starts on time, shit's fucked. If Donald starts on time tonight, I'll know immediately, yeah, we're pulling out of NATO. Okay. So listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. If you do want to support the channel financially, please do. There's many different ways to do it. And then if you're watching this live, you stay because we have to make a thumbnail for that video, okay? One last favor, click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. All right, that was a long video, but it was also a banger. It was also a banger. High key, an absolute fucking banger. Big banger. Big banger. Hi, Beans. Okay, so let's get the background here. Let's get the NATO flag. This is episode 417. And then I'm going to need Keir Starmer speech. Let's get Anthony Albanese's speech. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for becoming a loyalist. I appreciate that. And then let's get Donald Trump speech. Oh, Beans, Jesus. I almost yanked my headset clean out of my fucking ears. Here is our background. Donnie in the middle. All right. Wait, where's the fucking... Where's the shadows? Outline, there we go. There we go. Oh, I should probably move Trump in front of me too. You're right. There we go. Also switch out the flag for what? Better flag here. There we go. Is that better? Also probably make myself just a little bit bigger. How's that? Do we all dig that? Much better, much better, much better. Okay. Good? Good? All right, first title. Trump is withdrawing the U.S. from NATO while during an oil crisis. World leaders address their nations amidst all right, yeah, no, I got this. Prediction. We are leaving NATO tonight. This is so much worse than anyone predicted. Okay. UKPM addresses his nation regarding Iran. OSPM addresses his nation regarding oil crisis. Trump addresses the nation regarding the end of U.S. hegemony. Okay. All right, this has to finish processing. While that is processing, why don't we film the advertisement, huh? Okay. Yeah, so absolutely everything is fucked. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, he addressed his nation today and essentially told them that the UK will be strengthening its relationship with the EU, probably trying to rejoin the EU because they can no longer rely on America, and Donald Trump is preparing to pull the United States out of NATO entirely. This would make our nation so much weaker. That is not opinionated. That is a irrefutable fact. If you disagree with me, you're just wrong and fucking stupid. And then on top top of that, Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, he addressed his nation and begged them to stop wasting gas. He was like, if you can share rides, please share rides. If you could take public transit or a bus or a train, please do that. Both nations, the UK and Australia, is immediately giving relief to their people regarding the price of oil, okay? So the entire global economy is fucked. Donald Trump is going to address the nation tonight live at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll tell you exactly what he's going to do. He's going to announce that the United States is withdrawing from NATO. That's what he's going to do. We already got Marco Rubio on fucking Fox News saying, well, if NATO won't let us use their bases, then why are we even in NATO? They are preparing for this, which is why the rest of the world is going to turn to China as an economic partner because they can no longer rely on the United States of America. Nobody can trust the United States of America. On top of that, I would not put it past Donald to actually begin the invasion of Iran during his fucking speech because he's so stupid he thinks he's capable of pulling like a fake out. But dude, the Iranians do not trust a single fucking word you say. You bombed them during negotiations before Operation Midnight Hammer, Fortnite Epic Chungus. You bombed them right after negotiations before Operation Epstein's Fury, Big Chungus. Like, dude, nobody fucking trusts you. Nobody fucking trusts you. On top of that, we have clips of him talking about this new fucking giant hotel they're building that they're calling the Trump Memorial Library, despite, he even says, he goes, oh, there's not going to be any books there. I don't know how to read. Because this bumbling fucking fascist doesn't know how to fucking read. And then he pulls out his own notes regarding the ballroom, and it actually looks like a third grade mentally stunted fucking idiot is drawing with a Sharpie. It's absolutely fucking baffling. Yeah, nightmare shit. Nightmare. Whole new YouTube video on this. I will be live tonight at 9 o'clock to watch the pedophile president address the nation. So make sure you tune into that live on YouTube. Valenti Videos, new YouTube video. Valenti Videos on YouTube. If I triggered you, let me know. There's nothing I love more than triggering vermin. But new YouTube video, new YouTube video, new YouTube video. All right. Using Israeli as an insult, though, it's a great fucking insult, dude. If somebody ever called me Israeli, I'd be fucking tight. I'd be tight. I'd be like, no, bro, I'm a human. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How fucking dare you? All right, still gotta wait for that to process. And then I gotta go to the gym. I gotta do some laundry. I got a lot of shit I gotta do today. Yeah, this is gonna take a while to process because it's like an hour and a half long video. Probably the longest video I've ever made. What are you hitting at the gym? I'm probably just gonna hit cardio and core. Cardio and core. Where are all my dummy mommies? Do we have any dummy mommies in the chat? Dummy, commie, mommy. Listen, folks. We are providing everybody with one free Gami Dami Mommy. It's gonna be great. Everybody's gonna be happy. Ooh. Oh. Anybody buy the crop tops yet? We finally got the Kami Mommy crop tops available in the shop. I ordered one myself. I'm gonna be posing with the crop top. I will be posing with the crop top. I'm gonna maybe see if I can get Maddie to pose with that shit too. Maybe even Shag too, if I can get her to do it. Chris, can I draw you as a werewolf? Of course. Hi, Beans. Hi, buddy boy. Hi, Mr. Handsome. How old is Beans? Almost 3. Are you dropping booty shorts? Oh, I wish. I wish. You seen this? Let me get a look.
job, great job. It is a great honor for you to hear me tell you about the latest war I've ended. I'm stopping wars everywhere. 7 since I began this speech, including the War of the Roses, the War of the Worlds, War for Planet of the Apes, War Horse, World War Z, Star Wars, and the Civil War in America. I'm working on that one in the moment. The latest one was in Ukraine. And I said to President Zelensky, not a very nice person, not a grateful person, not a great guy. I said, guess how I'm going to end this war? And he said, I give up. And I said, absolutely right. So here's the latest peace deal, which was dictated to me by President Putin. He's a great dictator. I love dictators, fact. So, 1, Russia to keep all captured territory, including the White House. 2, free and fair elections in Ukraine, whereby Vlad Zelensky is replaced by a more suitable president who wears a suit, i.e. Vladimir Putin. 3, Chicken Kyiv to be renamed Chicken Moscow. 4, Donbass to be renamed Don Trump. 5, Ukrainian army to be halved, soldiers' legs removed from their bodies. Great job.
All right, enough of that. All right, we're gonna have to cut out the very beginning of this. Publish. I need the claims to finish being processed, and then I can trim and cut it. But in the meantime, let's get those advertisements uploaded to YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. Hi, Beans. Hi, Mr. Handsome. I don't have anything but YouTube. Good lad. Yeah, Mag is waiting for me to upload to Instagram to comment instantly. I know, they're addicted, bro. That's why it says in my Instagram bio, it says, living rent-free in the minds of all MAGA vermin. I do. I live in there rent-fucking-free, dude. All right, caption your short. Trump is leaving NATO. New episode of the Valenti VOD. Really kicking off April, hitting the ground running, you know? Hitting the fucking ground running on April. Oh, Beans, you want to come up and say hi? I'll pick you up in 1 second. I'll pick you up in 1 second, Bean. Hold on. Caption. New episode of the Valenti VOD. I'll be live at 9 p.m. to watch Trump pull us from NATO. And then the text is going to say, Trump is pulling us from NATO tonight. All right. Those advertisements are done. Still waiting for the claims to finish processing here. You better give Beans some pets. My arm was down there petting him that whole fucking time. That whole time. What do you do if Trump leaves NATO tonight and then says April Fools? I will mute my mic here. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, no, I'll tell you what I'll do if Donald Trump pulls us out of NATO. Okay? Okay? All right? Okay? Okay? You guys know I have a katana. That's not a joke. I have a katana just sitting like right over there. Ah, there we go. Claims are done processing. Now I can cut out my millennial pause. I voted for Donald Trump all 3 elections. April Fools, I'm fucking with you. There we go. There we go. Hi, Beans. Dunzo. Banger. All right, so I have 6 hours before I got to be live again. I got a lot of stuff to do. All right, gang. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti live stream. I love you all. I'll see you again tonight around 9 o'clock. That one I'm not going to be fucking around. I'm going to listen to him speak, and then I'm done. All right? All right, guys. Later. Thank you very much. Peace out.